Hello, it's Jermaine. Welcome to the Live Well Zone. It has been a while since I've done a video. I had to take some much needed time off for real life and also just to do some reflecting on everything, including reflecting on this channel. And while I was away, one of the things that I noticed is that the information related to hormonal imbalance and just health in general seems to be getting even more complicated and more overwhelming. So with this video, what I want to do, with this video and subsequent videos actually, what I want to do is give you even more tools and strategies to keep things simple. Now, I called this video the ultimate solution for hormonal imbalance, and that might sound like a huge promise, but if you are somebody who is really serious about getting down to the root of things, I think you'll find this very helpful. So what I want to talk about in this video is the term hormonal imbalance, because there's actually a problem with that term, okay? So when you think about your hormones, what do? Your hormones are chemical messengers. That's it. They're messengers. And you've probably heard the saying, don't shoot the messenger, right? So when we say hormonal imbalance, what we're actually doing is we're shooting the messenger. We're shooting the hormones and blaming them for being the problem. But they can't be the problem because they're just messengers. So what I really want you to do is to actually just forget about the term hormones and hormonal and put your focus on imbalance, okay? Just focus exclusively on imbalance. And then now ask yourself a question: what are the conditions in my life that are contributing to imbalance? Because now you're not asking it just from a hormone problem, which is a very narrow view. You're asking the wider, the bigger, the more impactful question, which is, well, what is it that's just going on with my life that's contributing to imbalance? That imbalance is simply being reflected in your system, right? But it's not actually your system that is having that is to blame, okay? So when you ask yourself that question, you start to get clues, you start to get insights, and you get some answers, and then that allows you now to be able to determine what the next best course of action will be for you. Because the whole goal here is to be able to feel empowered and to feel confident and to be able to be in the driver's seat of your own health and well-being. That doesn't mean that you don't go out and seek help from doctors and other practitioners, but you still always need to be able to do it from a place of really feeling rooted and knowing that you're taking care, that you're doing your part day in and day out to take care of yourself. And you can't figure out what your part is if you don't first do the reflection on what's going on with you and what's affecting you and what's potentially throwing you off, okay? So when you ask that question, you put yourself in the position of just feeling and being more empowered, okay? Now, that question works way better than, let's say, asking the other question, which would be, well, how do I fix this particular hormone? So let's say, for example, you were zooming in on your luteinizing hormone and your follicle stimulating hormone. And now you're asking yourself, well, how do I balance those two hormones? That is a much more overwhelming question, because all of a sudden you can start to feel like you have to go get a PhD and read all the books and study up on all the things, right? Because you want to understand, well, what's going on between these two hormones and which gland produces them and what's the communication that's happening. And it starts to, it's good information to know, but you don't need to really live in that level of detail every day. That's not really where you want to actually live. That when you live in that detail, none of this is fun, none of this is interesting. You don't enjoy food, you don't enjoy anything, because you're almost in the space of obsessing about the details of what's going on. And you don't need to obsess, because your body has got this. Your body doesn't need your help in that sense, right? It doesn't need you to go in there and dig through that level of detail. It just needs you to put it in conditions that allow it to do what it knows to do to keep you healthy. Put it in the right conditions. So let's go back to that question of, what are the conditions in my life that are contributing to imbalance, okay? I want to give you a couple of pointers here. So for most people, the two big things are food as well as their emotional / mental state. Okay, so when you think about your food, I want you to think about what you eat and what you don't eat. I want you to think about what you drink and what you don't drink. You want to look at both, because when you see clearly what you're doing and what you're avoiding, potentially you start to notice that maybe you're avoiding certain things that are actually very good for you. And then the question is, well, why? Like, is it just, are you doing it because you heard some other rule somewhere that said a certain food is bad? Like whatever it is. But again, only you know this, which is why it's important that you do this exercise. So you do that for your food. When it comes to your emotional and mental state, again, lots of different things can affect you. So, just looking at potentially what kind of information do you consume on a daily basis? What kind of music are you listening to? What kind of books are you reading or not reading? Are you taking a walk, right? Are you getting sunshine? Are you getting some fresh air? Do you get to listen to the birds? Do you get to look at some baby geese? Like, I'm in an area where I have baby geese, and I love to take a walk and just accidentally see them, because it just puts me in a good mood, because they're cute. They're baby geese, right? So what is it that's going on with you day to day? Is there enough things that are really uplifting you, or is everything just draining you and bringing you down? Because you have to find a way to shift that balance. Who are the people that you hang out with? Do they lift you up or do they drain you? Your relationship with the outer world. How do you perceive the world? How do you perceive yourself? All of those things affect your emotional and mental state of being. And once again, only you have the power to really look at that and then start putting together a plan of action. And, on the one hand, you might think, oh, well, this is going to be a lot of work, because now I have to go change all these conditions in my life. And not necessarily. This isn't always about I have to go change the people in my life and change the job. Sometimes you do have to physically remove yourself, but other times it's really just a question of perception. You just need to work on your perception. When you work on your perception, how you respond to the people and the things in your life changes. And when that response changes, it's reflected also in your chemistry. They're inseparable. They go together. Okay. So that's it. That is the ultimate solution, is to ask yourself the question, what are the conditions in my life that are contributing to imbalance? Start there, and I promise you, you will find clues, and you will be able to take action that really makes a difference for you specifically, okay? And while you're doing this, I also want to invite you to sign up for my free mini course. It's called Hormone Balance Essentials. It is a 5-day mini course that you'll get via email, and it is going to walk you through the top 5 mistakes that keep a lot of women just feeling stuck and overwhelmed when they're balancing their hormones. So it's going to be more practical information regarding food, supplements, stress, and you're just getting strategies that can help you move forward. And again, like with everything else that I share, this is meant to just give you more of a buffet of things that you can look at, and then take the ones that are applicable for you and what makes sense for you, and keep those and experiment and see what ultimately is helpful for you. So I'll put a link to that free course in the description. And that's it for this video. So if you found this information helpful, I would love it if you gave the video a like and also reshared this with other people. And if you have questions or comments, feel free to drop them below. And I want to thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.